Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Aurora 4X C#. So, before we begin, another time skip. Yes, that is correct. We did do another time skip. Did this largely just because we had to allow our crews a little bit of time to rest and relax, bring their deployment time back down. It's not quite zero across the board, but I think it's close enough as far as I'm concerned. A couple things that we did between parts, or rather that I did between parts, went ahead and designed us our brand new STO. We do have some of these building, but they're going to take forever and a half. So this is our new one, the Orbital Defense System 1 surface-to-orbit weapon, equipped with a particle beam 6 500,000 kilometer range and capacitor recharge rate of 8. This allows us a rate of fire of 10, one shot every 10 seconds, with a max damage of 6 out of 6. So, you know, no matter where we hit them at range, we do 6 damage, with a 17% chance to hit at max range. Our current ones are a bit better in that regard, with 22%. However, it should be noted, technically, we could have designed an upgrade for our current ones. If we go ahead and look at this, if I were to redesign our existing STOs that we currently have out in the field exactly as they are, they would have a 58% chance to hit at max range, and that is largely thanks to just better tracking speed. We have an 8,000 kilometer a second tracking speed compared to 5,000 here. I can't think of any other reason that would explain why it has such a large increase in max hit chance. Tracking speed is the only thing that makes any sense to me. So yeah. It also would have improved technically the max sensor range of these to 6 million kilometers as opposed to the 3.5 that we have right now, which I guess could be helpful. I mean, I don't really think it would be in the grand scheme of things, but I guess it has its uses. But yes, so we have these coming out. The upgraded orbital defense teams, they have 26 STOs as opposed to the 20 of the current ones. I did give them 5 engineering vehicles. The reason for that is to allow them to fortify. I don't expect fortification to matter for orbital defense, but I had spare size, technically. So I didn't really have any ideas as to what to do with it. So I said, screw it. We'll go with adding in a couple of engineering vehicles so that they can get some extra fortification. In fact, because if we look at some of these things, they're maxing out at a fortification of 3, and that's largely because they don't have engineering vehicles. And 3 is sort of the base for a lot of stuff. I mean, Earth finished some stuff, and they're still showing 3s. And we do have engineering vehicles here, but they're not in the same team. And engineering vehicles don't fortify vehicles that aren't in the same army structure. So I don't know if orbital defense teams can be fortified, so this is something we'll find out. The wiki did not say it all. Yeah, that, very helpful. Also designed some geosurvey teams. I separated our survey team into just a geosurvey team and an archaeology team. Built some of these geosurvey teams, sent them out to a couple of places. Some of them have returned results, or well, rather, some of them have finished and returned results, and other ones returned nothing. Looks like none of them are currently actually inside of the events listed here anymore. I don't fully recall what they all were. I think 3 have finished, and I think I sent out like 6. I want to say that sounds about right. I think I built 6 and sent them all out to various places. And I think 3 have finished. And I think only 1 returned any useful results. But a lot of the places they were sent out to are like minimal survey sites, so it's not too surprising. Actually, I think they all might have finished. Now that I look at this, I think they all might have finished. Because I don't think I dropped anybody off at the WX Ursay. We don't have anybody in FL Virginis. Yeah, okay, so no, it looks like they actually all finished, and I completely missed it. As far as I know, only 1 of them returned any worthwhile results. Let me get my timer up. But yeah, so let's go ahead. We have increased the size of our Queller forces and given them some escorts. We now have 5 ammo transports. Frankly don't recall how many are carrying what. I believe, yeah, 1 is carrying our AIM 450s for our strike craft or for our strike fighters. I think 3 are carrying the RIM 8100s, and then 1 is carrying the A14s because they're size 1 missiles. I don't really need more than a single ammo transport carrying those because these are pretty decent sized transports with a max capacity in their magazine of 3,840. So, you know, they're not going to have issues. We should not have any problems running or any worries about running out. But there we go. I believe we should be good to go from this point, more or less. I believe everybody has all of their stuff. It's been a little bit, but if I recall correctly, I believe I did upgrade the shields to the Z shields for everybody. So I'm pretty sure we didn't have that last time. I'm pretty sure we were starting around with Theta shields for everybody, but now everybody has the Z shields. Now the big thing for me is trying to remember, do I have you guys all refitted? I'm pretty sure you all are. Yeah, I'm like 90% certain you all are refitted, so I think we're good to go. And, you know, hopefully because we have more ammo, this will be the last one. The main thing that we need is just sort of to weaken them enough that we can actually potentially go and close the distance and use like the lasers on the heavy cruisers, of which we now have 3. So that is significantly more firepower because remember, this is 18 twin 15 centimeter cannons, or laser turrets rather. So 36 per, we have 3, that's what, like 100 and something? Like 108, I think, if my math's correct. So, I mean, that's a fair bit firing. So we just need to weaken them enough that we can close the distance. That's the main thing. So do a move to location, to the jump point. As per usual, we don't move through the jump point on the same turn that we arrive at it, for the simple reason that I got no idea if they're sitting on the other side waiting for us, and I don't want to give them the opportunity. Also, make sure you guys' shields are well, shields are up, but also that your actives are on, of course. Oh yes. Yeah, we haven't upgraded the escorts, because, yeah. I kind of just forgot about those. I should probably give them the same shields. Now it's just a question of, do I try to shave weight? I'm pretty sure they're within the 4% of being able to be refitted. And I don't think they need that 600 kilometers or so, generally speaking, outside of the ammo transports. Because our current gen freighters are only 58. Yes, I'm pretty sure you guys are inside of the 4%, so I think you're good to go like this. I think you're good to go like this. And I'll want to do those refits at some point. But it's not that important right now. Okay, we'll also send the coilers out because they're going to take a little bit of time to get there. Move to location. Actually, technically, the coilers will arrive a little bit faster than the actual combat ships, which I guess is okay. Nothing major happened regarding the enemy raiders between parts, so nothing to write home about there. There was a small incursion into the Sol system and then various small incursions elsewhere, but they've all been generally dealt with by the local forces. We're trying to build up our mining industry a bit further because we've been kind of slacking on that, realistically. I'll admit. It certainly hasn't been as good as it could. So we're trying to build that out a bit further. We will see how successful I am at that. Of course, our guys have freaking problems. Oh, yes, I had the exploration ship that we have lying around. God damn, we need more maintenance supplies. Told it to fill back up on maintenance supplies because it wasn't at full capacity previously. And then we're going to send out to 55 Bootis. And survey next 30 system bodies, survey next 3 system locations. Fuel gets below, I'm pretty sure you have a ton of fuel. Yeah, you have 12.9 million liters, but how much is that in the grand scheme of things? That is 805 days. Yeah, I think you can go to fuel less than 30%, refuel at colony, supply less than 20%, resupply at colony. And I think you're good to go. Yes, I want to say that that's good to go. Because we have not actually explored 55 Bootis because, the first time we went there, we ran into a raider. And then we just kind of left and never sent the exploration ships back. We did clear the system, however, previously. We just kind of forgot to... Well, as far as we're concerned, it's cleared. We didn't see anybody hanging around the planets. Or, I guess, planet. Okay, Expeditionary Strike Group is back. I had them drop off STOs at Alpha Centauri. B4, if I recall correctly, is where I sent them off to. We have one that's still sitting on Earth, because I built 3. Don't know why we built 3. Oh, I think I know why we built 3. I think the plan was to reinforce Syseti A2 with a 3rd one. Because Syseti A2 seems to get attacked pretty regularly. Oh god, we have all these ancient troops sitting on B1. We may want to grab these guys. I mean, they're crap. They will absolutely crumble at the slightest resistance from the enemy, but they could work as a second reinforcing wave, I suppose. Part of our issue is going to be that I don't think our troop transports are particularly quick. We have them at 6,400, which isn't that fast. It really isn't. I mean, it's not super slow, but it's not particularly fast either. I would consider it adequate for a basically 100,000 ton vessel. But yeah, they're not that great. They're not gonna particularly survive. So, or be able to reinforce all that quickly unless I immediately call up the reinforcements. But we still need to wait until we actually secure the body. So let's head over here. Carrier strike. Well, the coilers are almost there. Still waiting for the actual strike group itself, which is another 4 days out. Now, I will admit that I'm hopeful that the enemy sent some ships to sit around the jump point because we have a significantly easier time dealing with enemies that are sitting on the jump point compared to enemies that are, not. Once you guys go through, I want you to immediately make your way to, God, what's the name of the waypoint? Waypoint 4. Because that is a decent starting place. Because if there's enemies here, waypoint 4 allows us to engage. And nobody here, okay. Head out to waypoint 3 then. That is an 8-hour trip. God, there's so much freaking wreckage here that we would just love to get our hands on. But most of it we can't really get until we've secured the system. Oh, shit. Okay, that's not necessarily what I want to see. Oh, okay. So the Raiders decided to pop up an Omega Ceti, which is surprising because it's an empty system. But, okay, now we have to deal with this. Yeah, now we have to actually deal with this, which is annoying because I really don't want to. And while they seem to be smart enough and are running away, I don't need them sneaking up on me while I am busy dealing with stuff in Omega, or excuse me, in GL Virginis. So unfortunately, you guys have to be dealt with. It's not really all that unfortunate, all things considered. Okay. 5-minute increment. 2-minute increment. Probably could have done a 5-minute, but, you know, I just want to be on the safe side. I don't need him. The game deciding that he decided to charge at us at the last possible second. And end up with him destroying one of our ammo transports. So I do these fairly conservative increments once we get close. Just for that reason. We had it happen once before. We're not letting it happen again. Okay, there we go. Ceasefire fleet. Wonderful. Head back to the jump point. In fact, I think it's safe to say you can head on through. Go to waypoint 3. Okay. You head to waypoint 1 now. Can I rename these waypoints at all? I don't think so. No. At least I don't see an obvious, you know, rename button. Okay, enemies detected. They are within our active sensor range, so we should be capable of firing on them. Question is, who do we shoot at? Hide Rex so that we can have a bit clearer picture of what's going on here. So far, nobody seems to have us detected, or, you know, well, excuse me, we're not detecting any active, or, excuse me, you know, active sensors and whatnot, you know, things of that nature. Because we don't have any GPS stuff listed here for our being detected by our passives, so. And they're not moving either. Now, one thing I want to double check real quick, the Ninjar. We fought those before, didn't we? Yes. So, yeah, no, those definitely can move. The Chronors. Don't think we fought those yet, actually. Yeah, no idea of the engine type. Unknown engine type, unknown engine type. Do we actually have... no, we don't have those detected right now. Unknown engine type for these guys, but they're kind of small at 950 tons for the Renos. We'd have to get a bit closer to actually detect those. One thing I meant to test between parts, but then I just kind of forgot to do it, and I don't really feel like doing it live, is if I can fire my missiles at a waypoint, like past the enemies, and then delete the waypoint before the missiles pass the enemies, but once the enemies are within active sensor range of the missiles themselves, theoretically, they should then detect and attempt to find a new target because the target I technically told them to shoot at has been destroyed. But I also don't know fully how the system works for that, so I may not even need to delete the waypoint. The game may be smart enough to say, well, you're firing a missile with a warhead at a waypoint. So instead of what's going to happen is that you're going to fire them at the waypoint, but then once it detects a hostile signature, it'll immediately move to choose a new target. I don't know. And again, I meant to test the details of that between parts, and I just didn't. I completely forgot to do it. If this doesn't end up being the last campaign, which I'll be honest, I don't think it will be the last campaign, we will do one more, I guess. And between those, I will attempt to actually test. So, who do we deal with? Well, so again, we know the Ninjars can move. But our biggest issue is that the Chronors are so freaking massive that trying to deal with them with guns is gonna, like, just drain our maintenance supplies. Let's see. So, all the guys that we see here, as far as we can tell, are probably missiles. But presumably they have Gauss cannons and other stuff. Or they have STOs with point defense selected on the planet. One of the two. Because there's no way. So, I'm curious, what are you going to fire at if I tell you to fire at will? You choose a Chronor. Okay, that's fine. You chose Chronor 12. Don't know if you really need Chronor 12. I also feel like probably... two of you guys firing missiles at Chronor 12 and 3 of these guys firing missiles at Chronor 11 are probably sufficient. Part of the problem is I don't know how many missiles are really needed to deal with each of these guys. Okay, we're picking up Renos with their passives, or well, rather they kicked on their actives, and so we picked them up. Okay. Let's see. Destroyed those. We had, looks like, 37 hits against Chronor 12 and 22 against 11. So I think we can safely say that about 22 hits are necessary to destroy a Chronor. I think that's a reasonably safe bet. So we need to reload our missiles, which are going to take a little bit of time, so we're going to pull back to waypoint 3. Oh, whoops, you guys are still set to fire. Let's cease fire fleet. Okay. Now, I assume you guys aren't going to do this. Right? Yeah. Automatically. So, let's see. You guys join as a subfleet. Yes, and that allows those guys to stay like that. And then now, theory, you guys should resupply. Maybe. I mean, we know we're far enough away. Yes, there we go. Okay. And then detach you guys. Wonderful. We have this working how we want it. Or at least close enough. Now they're on the far side, which means we need to get a little bit closer. So we're going to go with waypoint 5, I believe. But yes, now we have a bit of an idea. Now, part of our issue is that we don't have multiple missile fire controls on our cruisers. We would be fine having our guided missile destroyers each choose one Chronor to fire at. Although theoretically they wouldn't be able to, if any of their missiles get destroyed at all, none of them would destroy their target. So I'd probably double them up. Which is unfortunate that we only have 3 guided missile destroyers, because it means that one guy doesn't get a partner. Because preferably that's the way I would probably do it. 2 guided missile destroyer salvos for each Chronor is probably the most efficient way. Let's see. What would it cost for us to get out another one for a future campaign? Well, it wouldn't come out until February. Well, actually, February is not too bad, all things considered. It's September right now. We'd get it February of next year. That's actually pretty good. Let's do that. Let's get one more out. Let's see. Trying to think. Do we want to get another cruiser as well? That would be March, which isn't too bad. And we have the supplies to build it. The issue is the extra missiles that we need to have. We have an absolute metric ton of these old EXternimate 4.6s, which would probably work in a pinch. But I'd rather not use those, all things considered. But they could work in a pinch. Let's build another one of those, of the Graf Spies. This one will actually be the Admiral Graf Spee. A reminder that our current guided missile cruisers are refits to this design. And so they still continue the old naming convention that they had. But yeah, I'm going to need you, I know I told you I think to build like 1,000 already. I'm going to need you to build like another 1,000 of these. Thank you very much. Because, yeah, we need a ton of them. We are going to need a ton of them. New mineral deposit found on, ooh, that's, looks like it might actually be halfway decent. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. 6 million galsite, and it's actually pretty close to us, so it's not hard to get access to. God damn, 55 Buddhists. I wish we'd actually frickin' looked into this place sooner. This is actually nice. Hot damn. I mean, the Mercasium's crap in terms of quantity. Same with the Vendorite. And it has shitty availability. Cobromite's not that great. Neutronium's decent. It's a little shy of 1 million. But this is actually not a terrible place. It's got a little bit of everything. And it's decent quantities as well. Which is really the big thing. Yeah. I think we're going to have to legitimately consider colonizing 55 Bootis. Okay, you take Chronor 1. You take Chronor 2. You take 3, assign that to the rest of the fleet. Open fire all, assign to, well, excuse me. You have your own target. Open fire, all assigned to fleet. So for now, we're going to continue tripling up the guided missile destroyers. Since I can't technically... Now, in theory, I think the Rhinos are the things that are serving as point defense, considering that they're kicking on their actives. So we may want to prioritize the Rhinos given the opportunity, but part of our issue is we're not detecting them unless I close the distance further. Let's see. Chronor 2 survives. Chronor 1 is destroyed, 3 is destroyed. 1 managed to survive because it only took 14 hits. But that is still 2 more down. But yeah, I think the Rhinos might be the things with point defense. So if I destroy the Rhinos, we would in theory have free reign. If I'm correct in my assumption. So the question is, do we do that? I think next salvo, we're going to get a little bit closer. And we're going to launch our missiles from the strike craft as well. And they're going to fire at the Rhinos. They seem to be fairly light, presumably. There's a fair few of them, and you know, our active signature is less than 1,000 tons. And they might have cloaking and whatnot that's affecting that, but I am inclined to say probably not. These are probably just very tiny, barely, you know, just like twice the size of a fighter. And they're just designed to serve as point defense. But I think that might be the case, yes. So if that is in fact the case... we can do this for next time. We can do this for next time. I think we're going to be good to go. I think we got some good ideas here. I don't know why it takes you 2 hours to join as a subfleet. Doesn't really make any sense to me, but what the hell do I know? Yep, you're all good to go. Attach. We're going to have to move, I think, to waypoint 6 if we want to have any hopes of detecting the Rhinos before needing to fire our missiles. And I might actually need to set up another waypoint that's a bit closer, we'll see. It just depends on if we detect the Rhinos or not. That's the big thing. If I detect the Rhinos at 6, we're good to go. But if I need to get closer, I will. And we're not picking them up. I'm admittedly not too shocked by that. It's part of our issue is that... So I need to kill the Rhinos because I think they're the point defense. But to be able to detect them, I need to get quite a bit closer. How close, I'm not 100% certain. At a estimated 1,000-ish tons? What is the... activity of our current resolution 14s. They are 700-ton objects. So to detect a, we'll just say 950, because that's the closest and under, we would need to get within like 52-ish million kilometers. At a quick guess. They're not going to be within that until the planet comes back around. Or I set a waypoint and get closer. Technically, I have to get closer anyway for us to be able to launch the missiles from the strike craft without having the strike craft need to move up first. Which I kind of have to go that strategy if I want them to be able to be masked by the swarm of missiles fired from the guided missile cruisers and destroyers as well. Because the enemy's going to have to pick and choose what to engage. If they choose the strike craft missile or the strike fighter missiles, the size 4s, then I destroy their big ships. If they go for the bigger missiles, then I destroy the point defense craft, which just makes my life even easier. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get closer. We're going to get closer. We're going to go ahead and say we need to get to about 46 million kilometers distance. So, well, actually a little bit closer than 40 million, 46 million, we'll say. We'll go with 44 million, which is very close when the planet is here. But luckily, that's fine. When the planet's here, we can sit back at 6. When it's on the far side, we go to 7. Let's go ahead and move up. The enemy might fire missiles at us. That's going to be the interesting thing. The enemy might fire missiles at us. Okay, we're picking up the Renos on passives, but we're still not picking them up on actives, which is, again, what we need. So the 2 is the one that survived. Oh, yeah, so you fire at 4. You fire at 5. You're going to fire at 2. And then you are going to fire at 6. And we're currently waiting to pick up the Renos on actives. There we go. We have the Renos on actives. Okay. VFA-1 detach. You guys are going to fire all of your missiles at Reno 1. Assign to fleet. Open fire. Assign to fleet. Open fire. Open fire. Sync fire on. Fleet sync fire on. Because I want to make sure all these things are fired simultaneously. Don't want any, guessing on this. Now the question is, can you guys actually fire at them? Shit, no, we can't fire at the Renos until we get to 2 million kilometers. Oof. Oh, God. How close is 2 million here? Way too fucking close. So change of plans. You guys aren't firing at the Rhinos, apparently. We need to get way too close to engage those. We'll deal with the Rhinos with guns. We'll deal with the Rhinos with guns. Engage these IQ'd. Whatever the hell that is. Okay. You guys, fleets. Land on assigned mothership. I don't expect those to destroy the IQ'd. As a reminder, our missiles there have a warhead strength of 10, same as our size 8s, but there's significantly less missiles at only like 60, which actually might destroy them. It just depends on how many get through, basically. That's the real problem, is if enough don't get through, they won't. Okay, Zycute has been destroyed with 6 hits. Jesus, you guys are weak. Chronor 6 destroyed, Chronor 5 damaged, Chronor 2 destroyed. Let's see. So 5 damaged, slow speed now, 6, or excuse me, 4 destroyed, 6 destroyed. Okay. It's not bad, that's not bad. Ceasefire fleet. Wait to reload our missiles. And fire another salvo. Yes. Oh, yes. I believe we also upgraded the missile launchers as well to the Carry Armaments Mark 7. In this case, the 7 indicates the magazine reload speed. We were using these Mark 6s, which I redid the naming convention. They're not VLS-Rs, they're now, the R at the end is to indicate that they're reloadable. And then, yeah, like I said, the Mark 6 indicates that they are, reload speed 6. So, there we go. That shaves a full 200 seconds off. That's a fair bit of time, let's be real here. Every minute is 60 seconds. So that's like a minute and a half shaved off. Excuse me, 2.5. Actually, 3. 3 and some change. I don't know why my math is so terrible. But yeah, it's technically more like 3 and some change. So, okay. Let's go back. Which one was damaged? It was 5, correct? Yes. 5 managed to survive, so you will engage 5. You 2 will engage 7. You will engage 8. And you will engage 9. Open fire. Open fire. Open fire. Open fire. Open fire. Actually, ceasefire fleet. Ceasefire fleet. Detach these guys again. Give them a target. Something small that we can engage. As a reminder, again, we unfortunately can't do the Rhinos. They're just too small. So what's the next smallest thing besides the Rhinos? Well, next smallest thing is the, I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but it starts with a C. We will engage those. I don't expect us to destroy it, but who knows? We managed to destroy the other thing, so maybe. Open fire. Did I forget to tell you guys to open fire? No, you guys just aren't firing. Don't know why you guys aren't firing. I realize you... Well, no, actually, you got max training, so you shouldn't be having problems, but you are. Oh, did you guys fire now? No. Oh, were you guys not reloaded yet? Oh, shit. Were you guys not reloaded yet? I thought you were. Didn't realize it took that fucking long. Oh, well. Okay, we stay here to watch what we had, which is a bit of a smaller load than previous time. 5 and 8 have been destroyed, as well as 7. Okay, we need to pull back to waypoint 3. So that we can resupply. Although these guys are starting to run out, so we are going to have to bring them back home. But we're whittling away at the enemy still. But I think this is our first particularly successful campaign. I fully believe that this is like our first particularly successful campaign. Obviously, again, the news will not report it that way. All of our campaigns have been rousing successes. Anyone who says otherwise is a traitor. But yes, I think this is starting to work out just as we would like it to. Okay. Pull this back up. You guys should actually be loaded now, right? Yes, okay, good. Detach. Actually, you guys don't have the range. 1 second. You need to get back in. It's my bad. You guys actually got to get a bit closer. Yeah, fuck it. We'll go to 7. It'll be fine. And we actually get ground forces now finally as well, which is nice. There we go. Okay. Detach you guys. You will engage that guy. Open fire fleet. You will engage the Chinors still, or the Chronors rather. So, excuse me. You take 10. You take 13. You take 9. 14. 14. Open fire fleet. There we go. You guys cease fire. Land back on assigned motherships. Cease fire. Oh, actually, you guys didn't fire. Open fire fleet. Why didn't you guys shoot? Oh, waiting for other ships in the fleet to confirm readiness. Which is a bit annoying, because now it does mean there's a bit more of a gap between our fire. It's not that big of a deal, but I kind of wanted our strike fighters to fire their salvo at the exact same time as the other ships, but I suppose I could have dragged them in. This is the one thing that I find annoying about fighters. When you detach them, they detach entirely separately. Which I guess makes sense because you can't technically have a subfleet that is not in the exact same location as the fleet it's a subfleet of. But it does mean that in this case, because my strike fighters were not in the exact same fleet as the bigger ships that fired, their sync fire was not synced to the same fire as those guys. So they're not quite firing at the same time. Again, it's not a major issue. It is a minor annoyance, however. Because I wanted these much closer. That's a gap of about 1 million some odd. I can't really tell exactly because my mouse cursor kind of gets in the way, but it's 1 million and some odd. It looks like actually about 2 million. Which means we may not do as much damage. 6 penetrating hits. Which isn't actually too bad. We do pick up some STOs. No destructions this time. But we do damage again. Now, part of my thing is I don't know how much range their STOs have. Well, let's see. We got 420 on our laser. In theory, we could probably close to gun range, realistically. We probably could. I wouldn't, but we probably could. Now, I kind of wish they'd be firing some missiles at us, and I realize that that's not something you typically want to say. But I'd honestly almost prefer it right now. Because once I know they're out of missiles, we've got a much better opportunity to just kind of go in. Okay, this means we are fully out again here. see. Did not destroy 13 again, but 10 and 14 have been destroyed, as well as 9. Out of ammo. Pull back. I think we have not a whole lot left, though, admittedly, with our ammo transports. We have 645 left of the size 8s. So, yeah. We're going to have to send them back soonish. Which is fine, because I think realistically our fleet's probably getting up there now on their deployment time. I mean, it's not super far, but they've been here for a fair bit of time now. Yeah, technically they're up to a year, and that's partly just because of the maintenance things. You know, that kicks it up. Okay. Detach, we have 268, which is not enough to fully refill our size 8s. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys to go back home and load up ordnance, refuel, resupply, all that jazz. And this is going to be our last sort of go at it. Where's the planet now? It is very quickly approaching, so we're going to go ahead and sit back. I think we're going to go with waypoint 5 this time. Get our 2 salvos off. And then, actually in theory we can probably do waypoint 2. It's be fine as well. Let's do waypoint 2. Should be more than close enough. Outside of the size 4 missiles, which again, part of the thing we're running into is that I kind of want to refit our strike fighters with size 8s, or excuse me, with size 6s. I think I had a design, right? Yes. We got this design for the rough idea. Oh, what the hell? Archive, reload, thank you. And, you know, actually load the thing I wanted you to load, thank you. Yeah, so the AIM 650, same 50 million kilometer range of our current ones, but they have twice the warhead strength, so they really pack a punch. We just haven't, is really the thing. We just haven't refitted or, you know, redesigned them and actually designed these missiles. Because we kind of struggle to justify it. Also, I'm really not certain if we maybe want to go with the higher range. I think when I originally sort of designed that, it's because of the missiles we were using before. Yeah, with the only like 3 million kilometer range. But now we can really kick that up. We have 50 right now on the size 4s, so maybe go with like, I don't know, 70 or something. But we were already losing quite a bit of speed, which I guess doesn't really matter too much. It's only really useful for avoiding point defense. And to be honest, 80,000 kilometers a second is pretty freaking quick still. all things considered. So we could increase the range a bit. We probably realistically have some improvements we could get here as well. Double check, we still have solid core, right, for the engine? Yeah. We only have the gas core for the power plant. Yeah, so I mean, there's some other stuff we could do here. But yeah, I kind of want to go to size 6s, I think, for our strike fighters. The design needs to be ironed out a bit further. There's my timer going off, but let's go ahead and get this last salvo off. Well, this last set of salvos, rather. Okay, what do we have? We have 2 more Chronors still. Which one was it that was damaged last time? 13. Okay. You take 13. You two take 15. Next thing is the Ninjars. Take 5. You take 6. God, I think this is going to be overkill, though, for the Ninjars, if I'm being completely honest. But, whatever. Missiles out. Ceasefire fleet, so I can do 2-minute increments. Ninjar 6, not destroyed. Ninjar 5, destroyed. Chronor 13, destroyed. Chronor 15, destroyed. Ninjar 6 took some penetrating hits. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. We'll survive. We'll survive. 20-minute increment. That should be more than sufficient for you guys to reload. Well, 6 was the one that was... God damn it, I literally just fucking looked at the thing. Yeah, 6 is the one that was damaged. So you take 6... 7, 8, 9, 10. Open fire fleet. Come on, guys. You can figure it out. There you go. I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it. I had all the faith in you. All the faith. Ten is still standing, 9 destroyed, 8 still standing, 7 still standing, 6 destroyed. So that's okay. That's okay. To be completely honest, I feel like, in a sense, we could probably go to gun range now. I really think we could probably move into range of the heavy cruisers and probably finish them off. It partly just depends upon the range of the STOs that we detected previously, and I don't know the details of that. That's the only problem. I don't know what the range is of the STOs. But the Renos would be able to be destroyed very easily because they're so small. The other stuff will take a few turns to destroy, but they shouldn't be too bad. Even when you take into account the fact that we'd be sitting at range doing 1 damage to them, because I definitely don't want to close until I have a better idea as to what their capabilities are. Now we could launch strike fighters. Let them get a salvo or two out as well. But those don't really seem to do much damage. At least certainly on their own. Part of the only reason why I think they managed to have any success is when we fire them combined with a salvo of our size 8s from the big ships. Theoretically, if I kept the coilers around, we could have probably gotten one fairly small salvo out. Now, technically speaking, you can use anti-missile missiles and an anti-ship capability. They don't do much damage, but you can technically do it. So again, if I were to keep the coilers around, and those missiles would reload very quickly, we could just fire like a couple thousand size 1 anti-missile missiles at them. And we'd be firing them quickly enough because those have a 5-second reload before they can fire again. You know, rate of fire of 5 on these puppies here, compared to the rate of fire of, 12, 15 for these guys. So we could just rapid fire these size 1 missiles. And those would probably be okay. To an extent. But yeah, we could just overwhelm them. How large do you guys carry? You carry 500-ish each. Each of you fires 25. You'd be firing a new salvo every 5 seconds, barring maintenance issues, down the road. The only downside is the range limitation. We only have 4 million kilometers of range. Which means getting pretty freaking close. But it's doable. That's the thing. It is technically doable. I don't think it's a great idea, all things considered. But it is in theory an option. I could tell them to get to like 3.9 million kilometers and just rapid fire. But no, we're not going to do that. I think that's an atrocious idea. It's an option. It's not a great option. We're not doing it. But theoretically, we could. Just let it be known. Theoretically, we could. We just refuse to do it. Because it's a stupid option. So let's bring these guys home. They need to bring their deployment times back down, as well as a bit at the maintenance as well. But it's mostly the deployment times. We have more of these missiles being built, but they are gonna be a while. Might not actually have a full load by the time... God, that would suck. But yeah, we may not actually have a full load by the time they get back. Because it's only about a week. Well, not a week. It's like half a month. Something like that. For them all to come back. In fact, what do you say? You say, yeah, 20 days. You're 15.8 days. Granted, you're already sort of on your way. you're in Omega Ceti now. But nonetheless, it's about a 20-day trip. We'll just round and we'll say it's a month-long trip. So I don't think we're going to have enough. Our ordnance production is not quite that high. But yeah, so I will see you all next time, where we will maybe have dealt enough damage to the bigger ships to feel confident in moving to gun range to finish off particularly the Renos. And then I guess softening up the ground forces, particularly destroying the STOs, so that we can engage. Now here's the thing. For the STOs, we'd have no problem using the old outdated missiles that we have a couple thousand sitting in a warehouse somewhere, probably in the middle of a desert. We could trade out for those. We just got to deal with the ships first. But once the ships are dealt with, we could potentially send the coilers back to get the shitty old size 8s, bring them to the front, replace them on our ships, and then use those. Although, of course, granted, that's using missiles. Nuclear missiles. Should be noted, these things do have a nuclear payload to just absolutely destroy the planet, which is kind of the problem because, I might want the planet. I don't know for certain if I do, but I might want it. So, maybe I don't want to destroy the planet's environment with nuclear missiles. Ignore the fact that we did that in Pi Libre, and we still need to go back to Pi Libre and finish the job. But, yeah. I don't think we're going to do that. Theoretically, we could, but I don't think we will. I think we're just going to try to hope that we outrange their STOs and that our heavy cruisers can engage them with their lasers at just the edge of our range and destroy them. And once they're destroyed, we can bring in the ground forces and secure the planet. Once the planet is secured, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not planning to necessarily end this series, but what I could potentially see myself doing is sort of running this campaign in the background and periodically just kind of doing videos with an update type thing. But we'll see. Because I do enjoy this game, and even though it is a very slow game, and I realize that presents problems for most YouTube audiences, it's not bad. While I have some gripes about game mechanics not necessarily being well explained, and that's partly an issue of just, it being a one-man job, and wikis are entirely community-based, and so if the community doesn't know something, or something has changed and it's not well explained how that change affects things don't necessarily get updated in a timely fashion, or get explained well. But yeah, that's going to be it for this part. I will see you all next time. Until then, quick reminder, if you want to stay up to date with the channel, easiest way to do that is to join my Discord server. You can find a link to it down below in the description. That is my go-to place for posting channel updates. That's where I will say things like, I'm moving, and so there might be a bit of an interruption to the recording schedule. But after I move, I do plan to return to streaming. I started it and then I just kind of stopped, and there's a couple of reasons for that, but the biggest one is just the fact that I use a Wi-Fi connection right now, and while 8 out of 10 times it doesn't have any serious issues, 2 out of 10 times it does. So yeah, sort of let's not do that. So yeah, we're gonna, well, I say we're, I do plan to return to doing live streams again after I finish moving, which is probably going to be at the latest end of February. I don't know when this video goes up. I might have already moved by the time this happens, but nonetheless, the idea is that I will hopefully have finished the move by the end of February, and we'll return with this series, of course, and live streams as well. If you want to support the channel financially, the two biggest ways to do that are going to be either Patreon, if you want to support the channel on a monthly basis, and you do get some goodies, namely early access to videos. I don't do a great job of updating my Patreon, admittedly, and that's partly because I don't have patrons. It's kind of hard to justify myself spending the time to keep that thing updated when there's nobody using it effectively. But if it were to get any supporters, I would actually, remember to keep the thing updated. The other option for supporting the channel financially is Streamlabs. That's more so intended for like one-time or periodic donations, not, every month. But they do technically have a monthly option, but you don't get any goodies if you use the monthly option there. So if you want to get the goodies of supporting the channel on a monthly basis, Patreon is the way to go. If you want to support the channel on a monthly basis through Streamlabs, it's entirely up to you, but just be forewarned, you don't get any perks for supporting the channel via Streamlabs. But I will see you all next time. Until then, glory to the Republic, and I'll see you next time.